What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Hey, hey. Queen Common Sense coming back to you from the Shy Town, holding it down remix to the Kakalaka Sticks, yo. I just came back because I've been really tapping in to spirit. Y'all like that, don't you? Had to let that rock for a minute. I've been really tapping into the spirit here lately, trying to stay silent. And I don't have a lot of content right in this one to react to or to comment on because it's coming straight from the source, the Most High. And silence. Silence is very therapeutic in the right frame. And I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you're blessed. I hope your home is peaceful. And whatever is prickling you, I pray that it ceases and you can find resolve of a high caliber nature, because we all going through something. And I'm really, really practicing silence when it comes to those challenges in life that bother us spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially, and so on. And I just wanted to talk about the power of silence. I've been channeling a lot of messages and writing furiously in my journal, and I haven't journaled in, oh my God, like 5 years. I have been spiritually constipated, writer's block, creative block, all kind of block, because I have been through it. Okay, and silence has been a very valuable tool that I put into practice when I'm dealing with really sinister, evil, maniacal energies, whether it's coming from people, whether it's coming from situations that people are trying to orchestrate that are evil. It fits where it fit. You feel me? It's like a universal type of blanket. It's a go-to for if you really want to expose the unknown and reveal the true and natural mindset, mentality, and intentions of people that they have for you. I know I learned a lot about how people felt about me from just being silent. Okay? Because people operate and they process and express themselves through their own filter of whatever damage, their own filters of demons, their own filters of delusions. Okay? They process your energy, they process your communication or lack thereof through their own internalized ilk, if you will. Okay, y'all follow me now. You get a lot of revelation and you will be shocked and sometimes disgusted by how people respond to your silence. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. I had just planted my feet back firmly from being homeless from Hurricane Florence. Um, I acquired my own little apartment through the services that were offered, via hurricane relief. I met a really nice woman, and she contacted me for me to braid her hair. And that's how I was doing, making extra money on the side to save so that when I did obtain a permanent residence, I could have cash flow to purchase necessities and care for, my sons who we were reuniting after being separated and displaced for almost a year, a little over a year. Met this woman, braided her hair, and she was a woman of no color. And her husband was a brother. And she had some serious health issues. Bless her heart, very sweet. Braided her hair, she loved it. We began to talk and become, a little more familiar. And then they stepped up and was like, since you're going to be, your apartment is so far away from your job now, instead of paying all that money for taxis and Ubers and this and that, my husband works literally right up the street from your apartment, like literally across the street. So when he is leaving for work and getting off work, he can stop off, pick you up, take you to work, and then, he goes to sleep, wake up. By the time he's ready to go to work that afternoon, he can pick you up. And if, you're running late, then we'll work something out. I would just ride the bus or take a taxi. So it worked out beautifully for a very long time. Of course, I compensated him for his time and his gas. And then his schedule changed. So I didn't have a problem with it. You can't help it when your boss, rotates the schedule. You got to report to work when they tell you to report to damn work. I didn't have a problem with it. Didn't feel any kind of negative way about it. I was like, it's cool. He felt bad. I mean, and I felt bad because I'm good, great conversation, nice person, friendly. We were just developing a bond, right? I didn't think nothing of it, you know, thanked him. We talked. We had little broke bread, stepped out, had a little meal, the three of us. And the four of us, me and my son, her and her husband, had a lovely little meal, talk. She would come through sometimes, sit and chat. We chat on the phone, text back and forth. It was beautiful, I thought. So then I got silent with her because I started working two jobs. So I didn't have a lot of time to make my rounds with my acquaintances and or friends and family. And mind you, I saw and talked to this couple more than I did my daughter who lives 2 hours away in Fayetteville. Okay, so I'm going about my merry way, you know. She hit me up, the lady, and she began to literally emote. And the bottom line of it all was she accused me without asking me, without any prompt, of being mad at her and not wanting to talk to her because her husband no longer could carpool me to work. And I was floored. And I wasn't shocked. I was just stunned and disgusted because I look at it like this. The way that I carry myself and the way that I treat people, you know, um, I treat people very well. I'm very respectful. I don't impose upon people's privacy, and I don't talk to people like they're smaller than me. So I lead with respect because that's how I was raised. My grandmother taught me that. And to be a lady, try to always be a lady and remember your compassion. So naturally, a lot of people are drawn to me because I am very warm and welcoming naturally. So she was a little bit overzealous, and I think she got comfortable with the fact that I'm just an open person once I, you know, make the decision to let you in a notch. And we had a discussion. about her theory of me not talking to her as much as I used to. And I said, it's really a shame that I have to explain this to another adult. Um, Being that I have a second job should be enough to understand and connect the dots. That's why I'm not talking to you as much. But here we go. So I broke it down to her. I said, I have two jobs. Okay. I'm trying to get out of the lane of punching the clock on a plantation. So I'm rebuilding my life all over again. I've lost everything that I own once, not twice, but three times over the course of surviving two hurricanes and a bunch of other stuff in between. So it's not personal, you know, it's me rebuilding my life and having my priorities in motherfucking order. And I'm just really disappointed that you think that low of me without asking me first to just jump to that conclusion, right? So she backpedaled, and then she was like, well, I guess you're a better person than me because that's how I would think if the situation was the other way. Confession. It's those subtle things like that that draw, silence will draw that out. You understand? And I wasn't intentionally being silent. I was just working hard. I was tired after working two jobs, doing what I had to do, side hustles, braiding hair, you know, mobile damn housekeeping. I was hustling. I was working my ass off so that I wouldn't have to ask anybody for shit after being kicked in the face while I was down through Hurricane Matthew, through going to war with social services over my son, my autistic son, having to separate myself from my youngest son, send him to another state so he could avoid being suffering with his mama, you know, and him being on my heart, going through a lot of disgusting things while he was away. It takes a toll on your heart and your psyche. So I was spiritually, emotionally, and physically exhausted. So I didn't have a lot of energy to socialize, especially on the phone. Okay. So longer story short, you know, I stopped communication with her. And then I noticed, just by happenstance, I was looking through my messenger on social media and I noticed that she blocked me, right? I really didn't think nothing of it because I figured if you have that low of an expectation of my character, then you did me a favor by blocking me. That's how I see it. A lot of people think that's mean or crass. It might be to some, but to me, it's called self-preservation and using silence as a tool to indicate and illustrate what people really fucking think about you. Okay. Another example, my sister, right? I was 26. She was 32. She's 6 years older than me. For whatever reason, we have this sibling rivalry that she created in her mind. And whenever she would come home to visit and I would come over to see her at our parents' house, I would get ambushed, right? So I stopped doing that because my kids were getting older and they were starting to get affected by her creating all kind of drama damn near every holiday that she came home to Illinois. And then they started to harass and gang stalk me when I refused to spend holidays and family gatherings and all that with them and expose my children to more of that same cycle of dysfunction that I have broken, starting with my family unit. Okay, I was the first one to give my parents grandchildren, and I was the first one to tell my parents, I'm sorry, grandchildren, and I was the first one to speak up and say, y'all are touched. This family needs some professional help. Here's the professional help. I found some. Would you like to participate? Right? And you know, the black sheep always gets the worst row to hoe. So I got lots of pushback, lots of static. And I said, finally, fuck it. Right? And I walked away in 2011. And I went radio silent with everybody except my children. I cut everybody off. People were so pissed off because I would not talk to them or I would not announce my moves in my journey of healing from narcissistic abuse and triangulation and gang stalking and flying monkeys and being doxxed by my family, I didn't talk to anybody. And let me tell you, I had clergy folk dogging me out because I said, I can't take it anymore, right? Silence will show you exactly how others feel about you, who feel entitled to your energy and who have been hanging on, siphoning your energy just to watch you struggle so that they can eradicate their own demons and have someone to level themselves with and compare themselves to. And, the hometown that I grew up in, that it's filled with people like that. It's akin to Huntsville. You know what I mean? It's a very small town. Everybody knows everybody. And if you do and make anything of yourself, or you happen to be naturally popular, people are naturally drawn to you because of your positive energy or the abilities that you possess. I have the ability to move a crowd. I have ability to attract a lot of people. I'm very talented when it comes to teaching children. I know how to organize things. I'm an event planner. I know how to do stuff like that naturally without having to go to school for it and training for it. It's just something that I was raised doing with my grandmother, my mother, aunts. We came from a huge family, and my grandmother was a very formal woman. So she set the table every day, and she had linen napkins and real silver and real china every motherfucking day. And she cooked 3 to 4 times a day, and the major meals were from scratch. So I was raised, if you will, bougie, from what they call in the hood, a highfalutin fancy family, or proper, as they used to say back in the day. So I can't help it. That's just the type of family that I was raised around, and my grandparents believed in being decent and in order in everything we do and having high standards for ourselves, so we understand what self-love is and how to draw healthy boundaries with people who are possessed with the fucking devil. Now, silence, my grandmother used to always say, peace be still. It's a new day tomorrow. Focus on the present. You have many blessings to thank God for right now. Even in the pain is a gift because it says that you have a soul when you hurt. Is it pleasant to hurt? Do we look for pain? Hell no. But I'd rather know that I can feel pain than to have zero self-awareness and be so self-centered and egotistical that I reduce someone else down to the level that I'm seated at without even checking in and getting the full scope of the situation and having a conversation of clarity. Silence from the age 26 to 52, I'll be 53 this September, made my sister go batshit crazy. I'm telling you, she was trying to siphon energy from my daughter about me. She already knew my mother would give her the rundown. So I was very careful what I shared with my mother. And, in really, really sensitive times when I was going through a lot, sometimes I would re-injure myself and go and confide in my mother because I just had no other place to turn to. And of course, when you're dealing with a narcissist, they love bomb you into thinking that things are going to be okay so that you will open up, so that they can then use and weaponize what you shared with them. And it's a bullseye hit because they know exactly how to hurt you when you share certain sensitive things with them. And especially, painful situations that you might be going through, like a divorce and so forth. We've seen that all too well. Perfect example of it on Love and Marriage Huntsville, right? So silence reveals the true mental state and thought process of disturbed and abusive people. Okay, that's self-explanatory, but I'm gonna break it down a little bit for the people in the back in the nosebleed seats who think that being silent is somehow an offense to those who are onlookers naysayers, and haters. Okay. Silence will give you all the information and data you need to move accordingly. Okay. And those of us that don't listen to that, sometimes it slips right in there and it might go right over your head if you're not paying attention and staying woke like you're supposed to. Because you're never supposed to drop your guard with people who have a problem with you and being silent and taking care of your mental and emotional well-being and protecting your peace. Okay. Silence will clean house, honey. Okay. Another example, my oldest brother, Daryl, he's 9 years older than me. Okay. Last time I spent any real quality time that I could count as quality time, I was in my late 30s. So he was in his early 40s. And because I refused to engage and entertain and make a priority his egotistical requests, that then caused him to retaliate against me, and he doxed me. Okay, the doxing wasn't accurate, but he revealed information to the public on a social platform that put me and my children in danger, all because he was motivated as a flying monkey by my mother. Okay, silence will make Beelzebub rear its ugly head and spin it around in a circle like the exorcist when you just be quiet, and in your silence, my suggestion and recommendation is to continue to pray and meditate and strengthen your force field of spiritual protection around you and your precious ones, okay, especially your children, because your sadness can transmute onto your children. And because they're etherically and metaphysically connected to you and your moods and your shifts, it can affect their mental state as well, whether they say it, express it, or not. All right. So I just wanted to lay that down and get that off because it has been ringing in the back of my head, channeling, and I wrote some things down about silence, so that I could multi-focus because I have to punch a clock on the plantation right now. And it's not the most pleasant thing that I'm happy about doing because I want to be doing other things. I have a different purpose, but for practicality reasons, I found this particular job to do where I don't have to deal every day with people in the office. I've been a work at home remote worker for many, many years. And so I prefer it that way because I'm an introvert, especially when I'm in my healing phase, right? I re-injured myself to reach out to try to be a righteous daughter and go to my mother's aid because she didn't know no better. And that was my bad. So I have to re-heal and reseal those wounds. And that's what I'm working towards now. But in doing that, I like to come back to my family and share some of the things that are powerfully relevant in spiritual growth, divination, awareness, and knowing how to battle demons through silence. Okay. Silence is a very powerful energy because the enemy don't know what to expect when you don't talk. Okay. The enemy doesn't know what to expect when you throw a prayer at the devil. It confuses your enemies. You understand? Okay. So just strengthen the muscle of silence because everything that comes up in your mind and in your heart don't need to come out your mouth. Especially Black women, we have to deal with so many secret microaggressions of many different varieties to prepare ourselves just to go out the house, to go to work and get our babies off to school and things that we need to do daily. right? It takes a toll on our energy levels. Okay. So silence is should be the first bullet in the chamber when you feel like you have no ammo. Okay. I'm put to you like that. Silence is something that is very golden. You just fall back. You know, a lot of people used to ask me, in Chicago, like, how do you do it? How do you not just want to just give them a knuckle sandwich? I said, because they give them enough rope, they'll string and wrap their own noose. I'm not upset that they lie and let them lie. They're going to lie anyway, right? I'm not upset that this person is spreading this and that about me because I know the truth, right? It's not what you say it is, it's what you can prove. You want to go off of emotionalism and believe the first thing you hear because it raises your and stirs up your spirit, and then you become emotional, and you then, oh, it's believable because the person that is conveying the story has elevated energy, right? That's for stupid people. I never believe the first story that people tell me, especially if it's a lot of histrionics involved, right? I wait to see what other bones are going to fall out the closet. And usually the person that carries up the rear and responds to that histrionic story, fairy tale fable that comes out first, usually that's the person that's telling the truth, you know? In a lot of situations, the wife or the husband that's been cheated on by their spouse, you think the new person, oh, they're just going to cover for and lie for that spouse who cheated. A lot of times they don't, right? It's a thin line. They will, fluff up some of the lies, but let the cheater cross over and betray the person that they're cheating with. You're going to hear the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Okay? That's one example. Okay? Forming alliances is another way. Silence. You know that there's 2 or 3 people in a group of people. You might be new to these people, right? You trying to develop an understanding of who you're dealing with. And every time you encounter this group of people, you feel some weird energy, and you're inclined to want to say something and confront it and air it out, but something tells you just wait. And then you find out it falls in your lap. God will place it right before you and reveal it to you just by being fucking silent. Huh? Listen, I have walked up on people having conversations about me who thought I didn't know it. And when I enter the room, they go silent. And you could tell by unspoken language, body language tells you a lot. And I just stayed silent, right? And guess what? Dry snitching to the 10th power. Fast forward a few decades, and because there was no justifiable righteous reason, they had to invent something. Lie to be relevant. We're going to talk about that later. People who lie to be relevant. We're going to put a push pin in that topic. Put a little sticky note on the side about people who are comfortable liars who lie to be relevant. But the silence draws them holes out. You understand? Draw them right on out. So strengthen that muscle of silence. Beautiful people, silence. Protect yourself. Conserve your energy. Peep game. And if you got to take notes, do that. Memorialize everything you can. Dates, times, places. With the age of technology, it's so easy. Legally, of course. Because I came up in the era where technology was not as abundant as it is now. So it was very difficult to prove narcissistic abuse. Now, You can get the devil. You can catch a tiger by its tail with the beautiful technology that has evolved over time. All you need is a smart device, okay, and a charger. And you can protect yourself with silence, listening, and recording, okay? Because I refused at one point to talk to any of my family members unless it was memorialized. You understand I'm going to record this conversation, right? Yes. Do you consent? Okay, I need that on recording. So now we're going to record the fact that you consent that I'm recording you, and then we can talk on the recording. You can see the shift in demons will totally put themselves in timeout, and that person is on their best behavior because they know they're being recorded. I'm listening. They talk. I listen. We hung up. That's how it used to go for me until I went no contact. You're not going to pull the okie doke on me because I'm going to be silent. You can't create an argument and argue with silence. Okay? And when you're dealing with a really incorrigible type of narcissistic personality, they'll invent something to be mad at you about. And it's the fact that I'm angry that you won't fight with me. You know, it's a tit for tat thing. Well, you walked away, so how about I don't talk to you? Fine. I closed the door on that long time ago. Okay, but I can be civil and cordial with you if I cross paths or if I reach out to you. It's not because I desire to talk to you. It's because I'm reaching out because that's the right thing to do in certain situations. Okay, so y'all, I'm not going to be before you long. I'm going to drop this video off and I'm going to send my love out. I love you. Please practice your peace by being silent. That's when you should be listening to everything that's going on. Absorb and examine the information that's brought to you. Don't just react to it just because you might be triggered. Silence. Let it simmer. Let it simmer. Ask for guidance and heed to that guidance. You heard Queen Melody say many times, just let God be God. However that looks to you, whether it's Christian, whatever, you know. I've been part of all kind of different religions. I've studied all kind of different religions. And I knew at 12, 11 that I was more spiritual than I was religious. I know there is a God, okay? So I don't really need religion per se, but I do know that I need God. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay? So that's that for right now. I'm gonna hop off of here. I might come back again a couple more times today because I took a Black Girl Day off. Shout out to Queen Sheba. Using some of my little sick time to develop my own brand again and start building on my own brand again. And, you know, just trying to get back into the entrepreneurial lane for myself. In this big age that I'm in now, it's a whole lot of shit that I want to do when I want to do it. And I'm used to being my own boss from when I was in Chicago. So if you love me, you do. You feel me? You already tapped in. You already know what it is. If you don't, fuck you. It's as simple as that. If it don't apply, let it fly. But I'm going to practice silence on that too. All right? So y'all be good to yourself. Take care of yourself. Drink your alkaline water. Make sure you get some fresh fruit, fresh air, and explore. Okay? Because I know I ain't going to have no more quiet hot girl summers no more. Okay? So I love you. Namaste. Black love. Black family. Take care of yourself. Until next time, I'll be back on the flip side.